Hey guys, what's up? My name's Sam. I'm coming to you from the beautiful Ginger Lodge kitchen at the Culinary Institute of America, where we're going to be making some honey-based treats. So here's a quick rundown of the ingredients today. We're going to start over here with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, real basic here in this one, nothing crazy, no cake flour, nothing like that, just all-purpose. Right now I'm using bowl and basket unbleached flour, but pretty much any all-purpose will work. We've also got a whole egg and 1 egg yolk lightly beaten, and over here a cup packed of brown sugar, light brown for me. I got a jar of honey that we're going to use, fresh from the CIA campus, B. apiary. We got delicious floral, light, sweet honey right here. Pinch of salt, 5 tablespoons of butter, a third a cup of applesauce, and some vanilla extract. I think it's time we get right into it. Now, we're always going to start by preheating our oven. And on my oven here, it works like this. You got a knob, and I turn it to convection bake. And then I have this knob here that I turn to 350 degrees. Okay. So always preheat your oven first. And definitely use parental supervision with this recipe, guys. So what we're going to do to get started is we're going to grease and flour our baking tin. So we got this stick of butter here, and we're just going to rub that all up along inside there until it's nice and buttery and greasy. And then we're going to dust some flour into it to make sure that the bars don't stick. So now that we've got our fancy smashy baking tin all nice and floured up, you're going to tap out the dust and switch over to the stove top, where you can see we've got a saucepan on the stove. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take our butter, our sugar, and our applesauce, and we're going to turn this into a party on the stove. Alright, one sec. So now that we've got these in the pan, we're going to break them up a little bit. And we're going to let these all come together just a bit. And then we're going to add our honey to the saucepan. Really let everything homogenize and come together really nicely. This butter is going to take a hot minute, but everything else is already starting to get really nice and brown and delicious looking. Already it looks like fall, you know? So we'll give that a few minutes. And I'll catch up with you when we're about to add the honey. Now, as you can see, I've taken it off the heat for this step. I'm gonna slowly pour in about a half cup of honey. There we go. And then we're gonna mix to incorporate that, and then add our vanilla. Now this technique here is called the separation of the wet and dry ingredients, and it really helps homogenize the batter when we're ready to pour it into our baking tin. As you can see, it's nice and thin and almost like a syrup, like a very light syrup at this point. And honestly, you could pour it over pancakes and be just fine. But what we're going to do is we're going to put it back on the heat and bring it up to just below a simmer. Grab our vanilla, pop the cap off of it, and we don't want to overpower it, so we want maybe 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm using McCormick vanilla. You can use pretty much any type of vanilla, even imitation vanilla would be just fine here. Now, as you can see, it's starting to bubble up around the edges. We want to quell that. We want to make sure that everything's getting stirred up pretty evenly. And now that the vanilla's in, we're going to take it off the heat and let it cool a little before we start to add everything else. Alright, next up, the flour game. So now that we've let this cool down just a smidgen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this egg, and when we pour it in, we're going to be whisking very, very quickly. And we're only gonna pour about half of this egg in until we stop, continue to whisk for a few minutes, and then pour the rest of the egg in. Okay? I'll be right back after that's done. I'm afraid it's something I just can't do one-handed. Now, it's time to take our mixture and pour it into our mixing bowl. Don't worry if you've still got little bits of butter. That's just fine. It'll all start to come together. I'm going to take our whisk, bring it over, give her a little mixy mix, and add our flour. Now that we've got our flour in there, we're going to take our salt and just plop it on in there. And keep mixing. Keep on mixing. Once it gets thick enough, you're not going to be able to really use your whisk anymore, so you're going to want to switch over to a spoon. But for now, you want that whisk to really help you break up all the clumps. Now, it's not going to get super thick, but look at that. It's already pretty much a cake batter. So we're just going to keep on mixing until it's all homogeneous. Now, after about a minute of vigorous mixing, this should be about what your batter looks like. If it's not quite here yet, maybe you want to mix a little longer, and if it's still not getting there, definitely add another egg yolk. Now, that's not going to kill the recipe. It's just going to make your batter a little wetter and let the batter bind a little bit more when it goes in the oven. Alright, now it's time to let this cool for about 20 minutes and then get it into the pan. Okay, now that our batter has cooled down significantly, what we're going to do is we're going to pour it into our baking tin, and then we're going to take that baking tin and put it into the oven. And with that, we'll wait until we can stick a needle or a wooden skewer directly into the middle and pull it out clean, and then we'll know they're done. Alright, we have our batter in the baking tray. Now it's time to open up the oven. Slide it in there nice and even. Let's adjust that very carefully. Again, adult supervision, guys. Make sure your parents are helping you with these parts. And we're gonna leave it for, well, your mileage may vary. Every oven is different, so I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna keep checking on it every 5 minutes, okay? Alright, my timer's gone off, and now it's time to check on our guy. Now, it's been about 25 minutes in a 350-degree oven, but as I said, your time may vary based on your make and model of oven. And we can see we've got really nice crispy edges that are pulling away from the sides of the pan, so they're not gonna get stuck in there, and a pretty decent looking caramelized top here that's getting a little bit bubbly. It's hot, and it's cracking a bit, but that's just gonna be it falling and releasing its moisture. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let it relax, we're gonna let it cool down and pull away from the sides before we cut into it. Alright, see you back when this thing is cool. Hey guys, so I've been forced to get out of the kitchen because I had people moving in, but here we have the honey snack bars in all their glory. I just cut them up, popped them in the fridge, drizzled some honey over them, and here we go. See that? It's got a good crumb The edges are a little darker than I'd like, but they're not burnt. So, let's take a bite. It's dense like a brownie, but it's definitely, there's no chocolate, so I guess it's like a honey blondie. It's really sweet, but like not overpowering. It's a little floral, honestly, which is kind of cool. And overall, a success, I'd say. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to view the video, and hope this recipe works for you.